Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of Justin's Thoughts. Today I'm going to be talking about, well, first of all, it's Wednesday, November 25th. So I'm going to be talking about the Carolina basketball game tonight. First college basketball game of the season, first day of college basketball for everybody. It's pretty exciting. I love college basketball, so definitely been looking forward to this day for a while. And, a lot of the top teams in the nation were in action today, but mostly the only game that I watched was North Carolina versus College of Charleston. North Carolina was favored by 17 leading in. A lot of young freshmen. They're ranked 16th in the nation leading in to the season. Um, After a horrible year last year, finished with a below 500 record. Wouldn't have made the NCAA tournament if they had one. Which also a lot of teams are canceling games so far because of COVID. I'm sure we will expect to see a lot of that throughout the season, which kind of sucks. COVID's getting in the way of everything, but hey, at least we had a game tonight. So hopefully Carolina doesn't have any of them canceled throughout the season. That'd be pretty freaking awesome. But anyways, I guess we can talk about the game a little bit. North Carolina won by 19 with a score of 79-60, so they covered the spread by 2 if you're into that. First half they were only up by 7 at halftime. They kind of pulled away about halfway through the second half, but it was a pretty good game. Really, North Carolina was 6 freshmen. You never really know what to expect out of that. They started on Armando Bacot at center. He's returning. He had a pretty good year last year. I don't think enough people really talked about him, honestly. He had a pretty solid year. He was a little hurt at times, but overall pretty good. I think he's a pretty decent player. Nothing spectacular, but he's a good center and somebody you want on your team. Probably if you expect to be a top team in the country. Obviously, their power forward, Garrison Brooks, ACC preseason player of the year, which is kind of crazy. He is a good player. I told everybody a couple of years ago he was going to be good. Nobody really believed me. But, he's a great power forward. He's got good instincts, plays pretty good defense, goes hard all the time. Great rebounder. So at point guard, they started R.J. Davis, the freshman. He's going to be pretty good. I like him a lot. He's another one of those quick, small guys. Reminds you a lot of like Joel Berry, maybe even like a Raymond Felton type. Probably not quite Ty Lawson-esque, but, Lawson's a different category of his own. He's always going to be probably the best point guard I've seen in my life at North Carolina. I don't really know who you would put above him. Just with his explosiveness. But anyways, R.J. Davis, freshman. The other guard spot was Caleb Love, kind of a big guy, can run the point also. I've only seen him play one time, but I would say out of the 5 starters, he probably has the best NBA future. He just has the size and look of an NBA player, and he can shoot pretty well. So, it's hard to see him not being in the NBA next year, but he definitely has, he has the look of somebody that's a winner and somebody that should do really well in college. And then at the last starting spot, Leaky Black, the returner. What can you say about him? Leaky is Leaky. He's going to do a lot of things, nothing spectacular, but he's kind of like a poor man's Theo Pinson, really. Honestly, I don't really know what else to say about him, but let's go ahead and get into the stats of the game. North Carolina overall as a team only shot 39%. I don't even really remember the last time Carolina had a good shooting team. Maybe a couple of years ago they shot well from 3, but overall the shooting percentage was still pretty low. So, it's just, but nobody really shoots well anymore. 39% is still a little low, but nobody really shoots over 50% anymore. From 3-pointers, they were 4 of 18, which is only 22%. That's pretty bad. If Carolina wants to be good this year, they're going to need to make some threes because, as a lot of people have said, they have what should be one of the best inside games in the nation. Because, they also have 2 big guys coming off the bench, Walker Kessler and Day'Ron Sharpe. So, you basically have four big guys. I mean, that's tough to beat, really, in today's game. Um, Carolina did have 49 rebounds, which is pretty good. I mean, they out-rebounded Charleston by 15, but, um, that was expected. I mean, Carolina's a bigger team, so nothing really to talk about there. If you look at the individual stats, Baycott with 12 points and 8 rebounds. I mean, that's probably the line that you're going to see from him, I think, more times than not. Brooks with 6 points and 11 rebounds. Again, that's probably about what I expect from him, really. I mean, honestly, I really don't expect him to score much this year. I think last year he kind of scored out of necessity because there really wasn't anybody else really that could score. I mean, obviously Cole Anthony, but other than that, nobody really could score on that team. RJ Davis with 11 points, 4 rebounds, and only 1 assist. I expect him to score probably about that many points. He's going to need to get his assists up, though. Definitely if he's going to play point guard for North Carolina. I think, that will come with, obviously better shooting. So I think he'll be all right still. I mean, even Joel Berry, struggled with passing the first year. Kobe White, obviously, didn't have that many assists. So I mean, as the season goes, I expect that number to rise. Caleb Love with 17 points, the highest scorer on the team, 4 assists, only 1 rebound. He's definitely the scorer on the team for sure. He's gonna be their number one scoring option, I feel like, even though I think the ball should go down low, but Love has the height and the speed, and I mean, he has all the intangibles of a great player. So he's probably going to put up between 17 and 25 every game, I would imagine. The assists is what I like. 4 assists for him, that's pretty good. That's going to be the number, I think. If he can stick around 4, that'll be the number that really helps him a lot to transcend from being a really good player to being a great player. So expect him to kind of lead the team. Then you got Leaky Black, the other starter, with 4 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, played 28 minutes. I really don't know what to say about Leaky Black, so we'll move on. Off the bench, you had Sharp, played 22 minutes, 13 points, 10 rebounds. That dude's a beast. That dude is big. And I'm not talking like he's tall. I'm talking like he is big. I mean, dang, I don't even know what to say. The dude, not often you see freshmen look like him. Why he's at Carolina, I have no idea. He could be other places starting. He's going to get starter minutes, and he's going to put up some numbers. Might be his only season at Carolina. He might play one more, but God, that dude, I expect some things from him. Also off the bench, you had Andrew Platek with 5 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. Platek probably shouldn't play 21 minutes. Really, he probably shouldn't play at all. I expect his numbers to dwindle as the season goes on. I have high hopes for him. I like to see the white guys, I like to see the white guys do good, but God, Platek just doesn't have what it takes to play big minutes at Carolina. Next off the bench, you had Walton, didn't score. Shot really didn't look that good. I really wasn't too impressed. He did have 2 assists, 2 rebounds. I expect him just to come in and kind of just give you some solid minutes off the bench. I mean, he looked all right. Obviously, it's tough to say because only one game into his career, but he's going to be nothing spectacular, but could be a solid bench player. Also off the bench, you had Walker Kessler with 6 points, 4 rebounds, and only 5 minutes. Why that dude didn't play more, I don't know. He should get some solid minutes, had a couple of nice jump shots. He's going to be a great player. He's going to be the guy in a couple of years where you're like, how do he sit on the bench? Reminds me of Tyler Zeller, I guess, a little bit, maybe not as fast and probably a little better shot, but just in the fact that you just look at him and go, that dude should be starting. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, Carolina's got 2 bench guys, big bench guys that are just unbelievable. Definitely should be starting. And the fact that they both come off the bench, I mean, they combined for 27 minutes, 14 rebounds, 19 points. That's crazy. I mean, if Carolina can force feed the ball inside, they should be pretty freaking good this year. Also off the bench, you had Puff Johnson with 3 points. Only made one shot, only took one shot. Cameron Johnson's younger brother. And I will say, I didn't really watch any of his highlights from high school because, I'm not sold on a second guy. Like, his brother was great. I don't really have high hopes for him just because brothers don't really work out for Carolina. So, but holy crap, that jump shot looked good. And he hustles. Doesn't have the height or the strength it looks like of Cameron, but he's that shot, man. I mean, Cameron Johnson, I've said, has the prettiest jump shot I've probably ever seen. Definitely the best out of any North Carolina player ever. So Puff Johnson, I mean, definitely going to be could have some solid minutes, some big shots. And that's pretty much it off the bench. So, I mean, overall, the freshmen look good. I'll say, I almost think, your 6 freshmen should probably be 6 of your top 8 or 9 players, which obviously they are. I mean, Charleston, probably not a great team, probably not going to make the tournament. So Carolina winning by 19 doesn't really say much. But the fact that Charleston came out in the second half and cut it, well, actually, Charleston took the 1-point lead. So the fact that Carolina responded, then went on a big run is pretty big. I mean, that's good to see from a young team, especially after not doing so well last year. But overall, I mean, I think Carolina as a 16, ranked number 16 is probably about right. I mean, I actually think this team will probably end up in the Elite Eight. They'll probably get hot at the right time. They just have a lot of pieces. I mean, really, like nobody that's really going to take over games. Maybe Love, but so many big inside players. This could be a good year. I mean, obviously, I haven't watched any of the other teams yet, so we'll kind of, as the days go on, kind of see where they're at. But it's definitely going to be fun and exciting. And I think, I think overall the freshmen look good. And I was happy to have college basketball back today. Definitely, we've been waiting 259 days, I think. And I think Carolina played the last game before everything shut down. But really, I mean, they sucked, so nobody was really paying attention anyways. But I think we're all excited it's back. And like I said, Carolina is good. I mean, they got a good team. I think, they got some, play tech, like I said, really shouldn't play much as the season goes on. It really just, I think this team's going to come down to, how good can Roy Williams coach them? How good can he handle the rotation? And, also Anthony Harris should be back. And I liked him last year. He looked pretty good. So he'll take Andrew Playtek's minutes, hopefully. And I don't know whatever happened to Sterling Manley. I don't know what the deal with him is. I haven't even read anything about him this year. So who knows if he's coming back. But if he does, I mean, good gosh, that adds a 5th big man in there. That's crazy. So it could be a good year. Hopefully everything goes all right with the COVID and they actually get to play all the games. But overall, this was a pretty good game. I mean, like I said, it took them a while to get going, but once they got going, they made some stupid mistakes. I mean, some pretty dumb turnovers. But again, I mean, I think you kind of expect that, I think, especially from a young team. Carolina did shoot 79% from free throws, which is good to see. They did have 17 offensive rebounds, which is also good to see. 9 blocks, which even against a smaller team, that's good. That's great. They did 9 turnovers, which is also a great sign, especially from a young team. Again, they're not playing a great opponent, but the fact that you only have 9 turnovers, starting 2 freshmen in the backcourt and playing 4 other freshmen throughout the game is really good. So hopefully that continues, because last year I feel like they turned the ball over a lot. So if they can keep the turnovers down with this team, I really feel like that gives them a great chance. And they didn't foul much either. I mean, 16 fouls throughout the game. That's really not too bad. So yeah, I mean, I think overall, really the biggest thing they need to work on after this game was 3-point shooting, which, I mean, these freshmen are supposed to be shooters, so we'll see. We'll see what they do. Sorry about that. I was just looking up some. I was just reading some of the recap there. But they scored 17 straight second half points there in the second half. I mean, that's pretty strong, and that came from about the time where they were down one, and then it kind of went back and forth for a minute before that. So, I mean, that's good to see. I mean, last year's team never really had that, that knockout punch that, hey, let's, end this. So that's really good. Also, on the other side, the women's team started the season off with a victory, 90-61 over Radford. Women's team's supposed to be pretty decent this year. We'll see what they can do. It's been a while since they've been good. I hope they can rebound. I'd like to see them be good. I remember the days of the early 2000s where the women's team should have won a title. Ivory Latta, unbelievable. Definitely a shame that she never got a ring. So next up on the board is Friday. The North Carolina football team plays Notre Dame, and I'll probably be on to talk about that. That should be a good game. The football team, if they can win that, I mean, that's huge. I mean, that'll give them a chance to play in the ACC championship game. Well, a chance as in, it could be a possibility. And, I mean, it's a home game. Be good to beat a top 5 team at home. I mean, that could, man. So it's kind of like, hey, we're happy basketball's back, but dang, we got to pay attention to the football team, man. They got a chance to do something special. But the basketball team plays again on Monday night, next Monday, against UNLV, which is part of the Maui Invitational, or I guess we should call it the Asheville Invitational this year, since that's where they're playing. But we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully things go well there. And overall, yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm just happy North Carolina's back. I'm happy they're here. I'm happy the games are back. It's going to be fun. I plan on doing some talking about after every game. We'll see what happens. The stadium looked weird with the no fans, by the way. But, it's going to look weird everywhere. But yeah, they ran off 17 after being down 43-42. So that's pretty strong right there. Charleston did start the game off 0 for 11. Carolina played pretty good defense. I mean, nothing too outrageous. First time that Carolina started 2 freshman guards since 2007, where they lost in the Elite Eight. Obviously, those 2 freshmen were Ty Lawson and Wayne Ellington, who, went on to be MVPs of the team that won the title. The rebounding was tied at halftime, which is kind of crazy. Carolina out-rebounded by 15 in the second half, so that's good. I guess just reading here, Walker Kessler, and Puff Johnson only played a little bit because they missed a lot of practice time due to coronavirus protocols, so that's good to know. That explains why they didn't play much, so that definitely means Playtech won't be playing as much, and Kessler will get more minutes, which I like a lot. Next up for Carolina's UNLV on Monday. Charleston plays Limestone on Saturday. I have no idea where Limestone is. So, good for Charleston. Hopefully that should be a win. The intriguing part of the game was they did show that Charleston is 6th all time in winning percentage. Never would have guessed that they were that high. You could have given me 100 guesses. I never would have guessed that they were 6th all time. Carolina 2nd, obviously behind Kentucky. Carolina 3rd all time in victories, so that's not really surprising. But hopefully you like my little recap of the game. Obviously, I'm going to get better as the season goes on, but definitely pay attention to this page for more on my thoughts on anything, whatever I'm talking about. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, pay attention to my page for more of these videos. And also, I'll be doing some pool videos. And if you're listening to this, definitely check out my YouTube page, Mr. J.A. Clark. And also, look on Facebook for my Facebook group, Justin's YouTube videos. Very creative name, I know. Thank you. And I hope you all just enjoy your Thanksgiving, and definitely expect to hear back from me on Friday. Maybe I'll have some guests with me. I hope so at some point. It'd be nice to have other people on here to talk about as I feel like I could do better that way. But thank you all and have a great night.